Here we go.
Books and comics, Reservoir Marvel Warriors, Star Trek voyages, endless space nerds in power. We embrace galactic conquests, break and rule, cosmic overlords, science cruel, knowledge weapons, mighty force, ride the lightning cosmic course. Dice roll fate, dungeons deep, epic quests where warriors creep, schematics drawn. We build nerds dominion, never stilled. Galactic conquest.
Hello.
Hi.
So I am still trying to share this damn page. I don't know what the deal is today, but
Oh, you're trying to share it to me so I can load it up?
no, I'm just trying to share the.
Us.
Here we are live now.
Yes,
I don't know why it's doing stuff different for me today. My whole day has been one of those days. I apologize.
Oh, tell me about it, man. I drove down. I was driving to the southernmost point of Oklahoma to catch a site for one of my coworkers who is out on family medical leave right now. And I got within 2 hours of it, and I found out one of the other coworkers, he had already headed down there, and he was only 20 minutes out, so I had to reroute to another site. And then I had another site that I had to hit over just south of Enid. So I was all over the state of Oklahoma today.
Yeah, I felt a little bad when I was talking to you and you were on the phone, and it was like we were talking about different things, and I hadn't made it but 8 blocks from the house all day. So
I left the house at about 7:45, 7:50 this morning, and I got back at 5:45. And I've been just going the whole day. But I'm feeling so much better today. It's amazing. The last several weeks I've been very lackadaisical and just, no concentration and no energy and no focus and all this stuff like that. And then I go to for just a standard checkup to the doc, and of course they take your vitals right off. Turns out that with all of the exercising and all the weight loss I've done, the blood pressure meds they had me on had my blood pressure too low.
Oh,
I know. It was like the nurse first took my blood pressure, and she's like, "It's 92/60." And I was like, okay, what's that supposed to mean? Because
that's me most of my life till recently. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, who cares? No, 92/60. Normal is 120/80. Anything lower than 90/60 is basically, that's where you're running the risk of, like serious damage and, heart attack and stuff like that.
I was that way my whole life, not knowing what this shit is. Christy's a nurse, or mom's a nurse, my mom's a nurse, and they all do that, and they'll say like his blood sugar is this, or the whatever, and I'll be like, those are numbers. I have no idea. Yeah. Now, recently, when they started affecting me or my wife, I paid attention. But
right,
yeah.
No, but it was so odd. Even the doctor, even when he was, he's like, okay, we're going to take you off, such and such, medicine, stuff like that. He is so used to people having high blood pressure, not low blood pressure. He was, even while he was working with it, what we're going to do, he kept going, and we'll get that blood pressure right down. Oh, damn. No, I mean the other way. We'll get it up.
But does that mean that you might be at a spot where you don't have to take meds anymore then?
No, I just won't be taking as many.
Oh.
And maybe we'll start titrating me off some of the other ones as well. But and that was Friday, and then Saturday my car broke on the way to Topeka, and I was just like, oh, crap. And, but by what was it, Sunday I got the new meds. Monday, and so I started taking them Sunday night, and I got a little peppier on Monday, a little peppier on Tuesday. Today, man, I am annoying. I'm so damn peppy.
See, you and Daryl and Peppy, those words don't like go good together unless it's like Daryl likes Pepe from the Muppets. That's about it.
Well, yeah, I like Pepe. No, I I was so bad. Like for the last several weeks, I haven't been working on the things I want to work on. I've just been sitting here playing apps on my phone to try to get my dopamine hit and just not doing anything. And man, I as of last night, all of a sudden I'm in here. I'm starting up prints again. I have things going, and I starting to kick things off and fix things. Oh, and my Geekgasm, you'll enjoy my Geekgasm, but we'll get to those.
Well, first, and see, I started prints too, and that's been getting me going a bit. But
we got some stuff on the Chitty Chat. Hold
oh
on.
yeah, I've been saying hi. I
Hey
should
Kelly,
start
hey
off.
Katie, hey Little. Oh, you're Little.
I'm little. Today is, we're still waiting for, which we're still shooting for August 4th for our live. We haven't got it confirmed yet, but is that right?
Yeah.
August 4th? Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I need to. That's one of the things I want to do this, Friday weekend time is to pop in there and verify with them that is okay, and we can pin that in instead of pencil that in.
So I've got stuff saved because I know Cookie's going to come join us for that one, and I've already got this theory on the Death Star is flat that I want to run by him because I figure you and him will both really appreciate that. See, Catherine says, hi there. Happy to see you are safe from the storms the other day. That's the other thing I'll mention too.
Yeah, that's your. I don't know if that's a geekgasm or more just off.
No, I do have my geekgasm, but so there's a off chance that we might just end early today. We have had tornadoes coming through Kansas because it's Kansas.
Yeah.
And
the territory
where I'm at, about 20 miles north of Ash there, and we had a bunch of storms come through, and a bunch of I got a couple properties here, a bunch of stuff got hit, but we had a huge tree limb come take down my power in the backyard. Luckily, I can do that stuff because I'm a contractor, so I went ahead and mounted everything back up, and I was like, great, I'll have it all done today. And I called, and they had disconnected the number for the electric company. Oh, see, there's dimming. They disconnected the number for the electric company, which was odd. I get a hold of them. They need a city inspection, even though normally I can sign off on that being a contractor, and the city's behind because so many people got hit. So it's going to take, I got to get the city out first and inspect it. And then it might take a couple days for the electric company to get out. So I'm here at my house still working on like Anime Festival and all sorts of shit that I need to work on. And I can't, well, I say I can't get power. You see I have power because I ran cable from the house next door and hooked it directly into my box. So I've got 110 powering my whole house, my fridges and everything. And so like if we hit a microwave, I might just blow a breaker and lose everything. So I told everybody don't do anything while I'm in here doing podcasts today. So I should be able to get through today. We're limping by until the city can get with us. And it's not like we don't have options of where to go. I mean, we're fine, but it's just one of those annoyances. So
very much so.
Yeah. But yeah, if we're doing geekgasms, I could do mine pretty damn quick because it wasn't.
What do you got?
I had a custom made rug this week. It's not great, but I got it really cheap. It is a 6 foot by 2 foot for my office. I don't know if you can see it.
You got a runner.
Yeah, it's just a runner, but it's the softer deal, so I can put it in between the two. You've seen here, I got the two 3D printers. I can put it there, so I got a nice soft surface to stand on when I'm messing with my 3D printers. And it
that is nice.
So
where did you get that off of? Did you just you go AliExpress or did you?
No, I was on eBay and I clicked like on it, and sometimes when you watch an item, they'll send you an offer, and so the guy turned around and sent me an offer for like, I don't know, it's something ridiculously cheap. But after shipping and everything, I think I paid $22. So
not bad with shipping.
Yeah, I was happy with it for what it is, and it'll look good in this room. But yeah, so it's just a little something for me. And then of course, getting 3D prints going, and since Kelly's on here, I saw Kelly today at the secondhand store, and we talked about a few things, and it had inspired me to start another print to go with this dinosaur print. So I'm like really just wanting to sit down, do the prints. We even stopped at a Dollar Tree, which I was going to show you. You seen the Post-it sandpaper? For
I see a block
$1.25,
of something.
$1.25, it's 30 sheets of sandpaper, like a Post-it note, and you can
Yeah.
just take them off, sand your stuff, toss it for
What grit?
$1.25. Yeah. I was looking at that. It's fairly thin. I don't think that the grit count was accurate when I looked at it. You have between 80 and 400 grit, depending on. So you got 10 80s, 10 100s, 10 150s, two 400s, two 240s, and two more 80s, I guess.
You know
So
what
it's a
I
variety.
use for my prints and for my models a lot? And if you go on Amazon, you can get them fairly cheap. Emery boards.
Oh yeah, I've done
I
that.
get Emery boards, everything from I'll get a whole pack of them for like just $7, $8, and it goes everything from 80 grit up to like 5,000 grit. And what it is these are supposed to be for the nail technicians, and those ladies ain't paying high price for anything. And so these things are really cheap, and they're really good. I use the crap out of them. I love them.
I've used them. I've got a series of files in here I had for when I was doing miniatures all the time, and I'll use
Oh, yeah.
those a lot. But man, anymore, I feel like the tricks I'm doing. My mom even brought me like a whole plastic and ceramic yard ornament thing she had, and I just had everything here it was like putting a kit together. I just started gluing pieces. Stuff was missing. I took parts of 3D prints, glued them on there and shit. When it was all said and done, you can't tell the difference. It looks great, but like
Oh,
it
good.
deteriorated, and yeah, it looks cool now, and she's real happy with it. So but it's nice to have a room here where like the geekdom pays off a little bit. People can
I
stop
do.
by and you just fix it up. So
All right. My geekgasm is I messed up, but then I fixed it. And basically, what happened is I was working on doing the lighting for the most important machine in the universe. Remember, I showed it to you. It's the thing with the flickering lights that go back and forth, like the most important machine in the universe. Hold on, I will.
I'm gonna feel like an idiot because I do remember you showed me something last week that was real cool with lights, but
POR, important device in the universe. And you've seen it. You've seen it a billion times in a billion different movies and shows and everything.
oh yes, I do know the one you're talking with the two tubes, and it's about. Yep.
Yeah, that thing.
Yep.
All right,
I've seen
so
that
I'm creating
in a lot
that.
of movies.
Just a small scale model, and I'm working on the lights, and I've got LED filaments that I have purchased in order to fit inside of it, but in order to get the flicker pattern, I am using excuse me here. Let me stop sharing. I am using a DigiSpark in order to run the code on it, so it'll flash in the pattern that I want. But apparently these things, they don't have an internal resistor to keep. So if you accidentally hook the power up backwards, it can fry it.
Oh,
All right, it might fry it really bad, or it might just like mess up the little bit of a bootloader that it has. And so I had messed up the power because I'm Daryl, and I went to go plug it back into the USB port to load stuff on, and it just wouldn't even recognize it. It just kept telling me, no, I don't know what you put in there, but it's utter crap. And so then I used ChatGPT, and because it was, and I was like, okay, this is happening, da da da, and it's like, okay, what probably happened is blah blah blah. You probably put the power backwards, and that if you're not lucky, it completely hosed it. If you are lucky, it just scratched the bootloader. So let's go ahead and try. And basically, what it took me through is it said that if I had an Arduino Uno, which I do, although I don't know what I did with it. If I had an Arduino Uno, I could go ahead and use it as a programmer, and it talked me through everything, what wires to hook up to what pins. And at one point I was like, oh, hold on here. You said there's a reset pin, but none of my pins are labeled reset. And it's like, okay. And it even told me, it's like, okay, get out your phone, take a picture of it, upload the picture to me, and I'll tell you what you got. And so I took out my phone and I took the picture and I put that into the chat on my phone, which was mirrored onto the computer. And then it was like, oh yeah, great. Okay, so number 5 pin is the one you want to hook up for the reset. The other ones you want to hook up such and such. And then I went ahead and put that all in. And it said, okay, now go to the Arduino loader. Click on this here, click here, put this. All right, okay, now it's going to work as a loader for you. Okay, now it should have fixed it after you run this script. Okay, go ahead and plug it in and see what you got. And I'm like, okay, the light's blinking. It's like, great, now run this script and we'll see if we can speed up the blink and we'll know that everything's okay. So theoretically, even though I bought 5 of these at once, I just didn't want my mess up from to have me, burn through them. And just using the generative chat GPT, I fixed it. And that just blows my, I don't even know I don't know what happened. I don't know how I fixed it. It fixed it. It just used me to fix it. And that was cool as shit.
You're just the physical element in it all. That's all.
Yeah, I was the Waldo moving things around.
See, I was watching, I've been trying to use Chat GTP and stuff more lately. And
hey, Keith.
I was watching a video online about it. And it really made me think of this kind of thing right here, because this particular video, it's not why I was watching it, but it explained how the different generations of people, like people in their 20s versus people in their 30s and people in their 40s, are using Chat GTP. And they hit the nail on the head when they said my generation uses it as a Google supplement and a way to ask it weird and vulgar shit,
Yeah.
Like every new technology comes out and we try to ask it like some stupid fart joke or something sexual or but I was like, yeah,
even when we were kids, 8008135 boobies.
Yeah. That one, there's a ton of them. I can't remember half of them now, but that was pretty creative shit back then.
Oh, back then that was just like the heights, man. That was genius.
But like the way you use it more like people, they said in their 20s are like, it's an operating system for them, you know. Yeah. And then people in their 30s are using it for like day-to-day tasks, different things. And I was like, man, I got like Daryl uses it for fucking everything. And that's the way I need to start. I need to start using it like an operating system. It's just tough though, because there are some things I've asked it where you're like, oh, well, I know that's wrong. So yes. When it gets stuff wrong, it's like everything else. If I don't know, I just wholeheartedly go, give me the answers, oh Lord, and there it is. But you don't think it's wrong until you question it,
Well, and that's the thing is you gotta, it's like the old saying, trust but verify.
Yeah.
So you have to verify everything, but you do that, unconsciously. You do that with what anybody feeds you, because how many times have you had people who you thought were general experts, but then you realize that half the time they're blowing smoke, and so you just don't trust them as much anymore.
It was one of the subjects I was going to bring up last week, which I'm saving it still for another episode, of all the scam cons out there. That's a lot of it. There's a lot of people I've talked to, even with other events that we're going to do this year, even that where people talk a big game, and having done it, you can kind of pick that shit out. But there are so many events now, and they do like get on Chat GTP or YouTube, and they watch something, they know keywords, and it's harder and harder to figure out if half these events are shit or not, because there are a lot of them. So yeah, it's that a lot of people out there just talking out their ass.
It is, and that's one of the reasons that what was it, like a year or so ago, I was talking with my sister. She works at the university that she works at. She is like in charge of their, like their nursing program or their doctorate. So she's training people coming up to be doctors. And so she was having a problem with, there were certain individuals that she could blatantly tell that they used AI, they copied and pasted. And I mean, it was basically, this is your one strike. If you do it again, you're out of the program and you can kiss all your money goodbye and your future kind of shit. And so she was like, she was talking to me and she's like, what are we going to do? Because this stuff right now is the worst that it's going to be. It's only going to get better.
Right. Everything's better
And,
from here on out. Yeah.
and the thing that I heard that, and I related to her is like, you're going to have to get away from what we have now. What we have now is we have where people turn in work. All right. Whatever it is, their essay they're doing, the paper that they're doing, all the stuff like that, they generate this work and then they hand it in. We're going to have to go back to the way it used to be, is when you gave, you were questioned orally and you had to relate orally what the answers were. You had to show that you had an actual understanding of what was going on, because we can't expect people not to use these tools. These tools are just like the calculator with boobies on it. All right. All my BS is genuine. I don't. Oh yeah, that's Keith.
Okay. Yeah. All my BS is genuine. I don't need AI for help there. LOL.
Well, yeah. and that's one of the things, my man. Oh crap, that's ass. That's one of the things is that AI sucks when it comes to doing jokes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, trust me, I've tried a couple. I think the first time I ever really used it was you in the winery, and you said, "What's something you'd need help with?" And I said, "Write me a new pirate show or something." And
yeah,
you had it do that, and there's probably 10 good ideas in there I could have plucked out and done something with at the time. But
and
now, like seeing you do some of the AI songs and shit, it's like, oh, kind of nailed it right out the door or something,
Well, and keep in mind, the song that I am showing you
is
not the first
15th,
iteration.
right?
All right, because I've sat there and first I've gone through and I've described to the AI what I want. All right, and then it generates lyrics, and I will go through and handpick out, okay, I like this, I don't like this, let's go in this direction. And so I steer it towards more. And once I get it in the ballpark, then I'll take that and scrub it and clean it to the way I want and put that into Suno. And then from Suno, I'm sitting there and I'm putting prompts in order to try to get it to generate the song in the flavor that I want. Like one of the problems I've had, one song I was trying to make, it just kept using a female voice. And I don't know why. None of my prompts had said female voice. None of them had said any gender. But I didn't like the way that the female voice was sounding. It was just too soft. I needed something a little bit, more masculine. And so I even went through and was telling it, use a male voice. And it was still generating everything in female voice. So I eventually just said, screw you, I'm done for the day.
Yeah, it was just a real effeminate male voice. You don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, and see the AI thing, that's again talking about these scam events. If you remember, like with the Willy Wonka one, almost like the scripts they went off of, all AI. The advertising was all written by AI. All the artwork was AI. I mean, everything but the physical stuff they had there, it was all done with AI.
Yeah.
I wonder if it doesn't make people a little ballsier, a little braver. It's like, oh, I can do it. I can do this. I don't need somebody to tell me how to do it because I can just ask AI to do it for me. And they don't get
and keep in mind, the person who was doing that, they fully expected to fade away in a puff of smoke and take the money with them. All right.
Yeah.
It's just that it was so horrendous that legal action was taken.
Alberto said, I heard it was the best. I mean, it was slightly better than the RoboCop convention they did, but that's because people showed up to that one. So I'm just saying. I gotta get Berto back. He's got me on some kind of I'm a racist thing somewhere on and I don't know why yet.
Hey, just as long as he doesn't have you on Mambala, it's all good.
What's Mambala?
Mambala.
Sounds better than Mambala.
It's Man Boy Love Association.
Oh, okay.
I know it from South Park.
Nope, I do recognize hearing that before. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is those are people, in my opinion, who need to be taken out and shot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not getting in that. I'm gonna hit my.
Well, no. That one's a safe topic. That's right up there with punching Nazis. You can.
Yeah, no, it's always okay, but that's where we'll start going down the wrong path. I'm trying to open up my information here on a article I wanted to talk about, and it's not going to let me, so I won't be able to read the article. It looks like. Um, the one piece of news I kind of wanted to hit on today, which I didn't talk about the lawsuit over the last few months with the Texas Renaissance Festival, which is one of the
Yeah.
larger Renaissance festivals in the country. I used to go quite often back in the day. Anyhow, there was just recently a big lawsuit, which forced the sale of the Renaissance Festival for $60 million, which is quite a bit, because I think that comes with a lease on the land. It does not come with the land. It does not come with the structure.
So they're paying for the branding.
They're paying for the branding pretty much, because most of those big
But-
festivals like that are leased properties, but they got like 20-year leases on them.
Yeah, but even back in the day, I had heard of the Texas Renaissance Festival.
Yeah,
TRF.
yep. TRF and Scarborough Renaissance Festival down there were always two of the bigger ones, especially for the Midwest. Like, people here would always go to Kansas City. Kansas City's great, but boy, it is like a suburb of TRF when we go down there.
Mhm.
And I always enjoyed that. Now, granted, I haven't been down there in a long time, but so I knew some of the performers and a couple vendors, but it just wasn't my how do I want to say it? My mind's going blank. It damn it. I got it right on the tip of my tongue. It wasn't the regular group of performers we're normally the circuit. It's not the circuit we normally would perform on, because
Right.
Bilge Pumps take care of most of Texas, and it takes a lot for us to get down there. Bilge Pumps and Corsairs. So, but the owner of TRF was found passed away today in his home, and they don't know why.
Now,
So, yeah,
You had said when we first were logging on, both of us,
Right.
you said that, then turned around and walked off, because I was like, what was it? Like, what? Because I was just so confused, because you said that and walked off. I didn't know if it was like something heinous happened,
No.
or if it was just life, or what.
they just found him passed away. I don't have much on the article. I've read one article on it, unfortunately, and I did that right before this, so I more wanted to mention it in passing, so I don't forget about it. Because I'm sure we're going to talk about it more when we do the live show a little bit, because that is going to take one of the larger Renaissance fairs in Texas, and it's going to leave it up in a limbo a little bit, because even though new people are going to be coming in with the sale, running things, current staff was still running things, and that's a lot of changeover for a festival that size. So I'm kind of wondering how much that's going to be expedited, or I mean, I as somebody who's run festivals and stuff, am very, very interested to watch how the process is going to go of that that big changing hands. They did a little mini doc on I think it was Showtime, or not Showtime, Hulu, I think it was, with a similar situation. And I tried to watch that because I was excited about it, but they had done it for TV to where almost everything they did was like how reality shows aren't reality, and you're watching people fall in love on an island. Well, this was the ins and outs of the behind the scenes of running a Ren Fair, and they really hyped it up for TV. Like, they added drama. They, the stuff that they were worried about, like whether a stage was filled for 30 minutes, meant jack and shit, compared to like whether your performers were even showing up, or it was going to rain, or things like that. So I'm interested to watch how this is going to pan out, as long as it doesn't become YouTube sensation like that thing did. So
Yeah, I have been ever since Deadliest Catch, because that was being filmed at the same time that I was up in Alaska on those fishing boats. And now, I was never on any of those boats, I was never on any of the boats that they filmed on, but I was on boats around, and I heard so much scuttlebutt on how they were getting them to rig things, and stage issues. And at one point there was everybody was up in arms, because the whatever production company, whatever, purposefully had the captain point the boat wrong, so that it was more dangerous for the guys out there. And that right there was when everybody started to get really up in arms, because when I was up there, on average, one fisherman died a week. On average, because of you're that's where Mother Nature decides fuck you. I mean, it's not the only place more fuck you than that is trying to juggle funnel web spiders in Australia, and
one-handed, of course.
one-handed, roll them around in a circle. Don't move. I'll go get you a towel. Anyway,
as soon as I say naked, you start. Okay. Anyhow, I do want to comment on that, but I should check here. Berto says new movie recommendation: The Ugly Stepsister. Kinda came out of nowhere, and no one's talking about it. I will actually look. Half time I can't tell if Berto's pulling one over on me, or he actually does always come up with good shit, and he sees stuff way before I do. Kristen says, "Yeah, okay. I've been once to TRF, and it was amazing."
Yeah.
Well, even my first TRF's one of those go for the weekend because you'll need 2 days just to walk around the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Sean said, "Hi guys, there's a documentary on Max like that as well." That might be the one I saw. The one I was watching was a series. But as far as like you talking watching Deadliest Catch, I know we've had that problem before too. Like hell, we've talked about this for years, but when we did Extreme Home Makeover, which I remember to be on site for that. I got to set it up, and then you guys went, and then you guys coming back and telling me all the little like, oh, somebody got hurt, and the host just like hightailed it out of there immediately, or all the little behind the scenes.
That.
Oh yeah, the somebody had gotten hurt, and the guy from Trading Spaces, the host of the show, he ended up like just bugging out right away. Like as soon as he saw it, he's like, "I'm gone." Left, went to his camper. But in fairness, because at first everybody thought it was weird, and then after we all talked about it, we were like, "Oh, yeah, it's probably good he stays out of the way. He's the talent. He doesn't need to be in the middle of somebody getting hurt." So yeah, I don't think it was so much that, but watching some of those shows, Pawn Stars is a great example. I know I've talked with Kelly about it, and I hate Pawn Stars the way it's run. There is no reality to that show. Even the Steampunks TV show, a bunch of the cosplay shows that they had back in the day. And the problem with a lot of those was they came out and they came out right when cosplay got big. So the people who were already doing it would watch it and go, they're adding drama in that doesn't need here,
Mm-hmm.
But then all these new people that had only been cosplaying for like a year or something, then they're watching these shows to go, oh, this is how it is. And that shit helped change the industry for a few years. That people thought that's how competitions ran at conventions.
Like I just, and that was one of the things, because I've only watched like one episode. I could not watch anymore after seeing these people portrayed as top level cosplayers who wait to the last moment to just throw together a costume and go there, and it's just beautiful. We know true cosplayers like Esmeralda. All right. Can you imagine her just throwing together one of her costumes 2 or 3 days before and just showing up and everything's just automatically beautiful? Or do you realize that she has, been thinking about it for 2 years and been hardcore fabbing on it for 6 months?
You're right. In fairness, I have seen her throw some shit together last minute before.
Well, yeah, but she's also really damn good. She can do that.
Yeah, she's been doing it for a long. I mean, I think she's been doing that stuff since. Well, when we met her when she was a teenager, and she's
I felt like a dirty old man.
Huh?
I felt like a dirty old man.
Well, no, it wasn't like that. I mean, it was hell. I think we met her because we were hiring her at she was a performer. She was a fairy at Nebraska.
Who didn't talk.
And she was a great performer.
She was a great performer. She did her fairy completely not saying anything. And then she was really incensed when I gave her the nickname, what was it, Booger Butt?
Booger Butt. Yeah, she was great, but since she didn't talk, she was quiet and sly. And I was always, I was performing and then running festival too. So I was always busy. And she would come up behind me and like I got all these ties on my doublet and shit.
Yeah.
And she'd be so quiet and she'd come up and just start untying the ties and tying them like to my pants or whatever. So when I go to take my doublet off, it's tied to my pants or the sleeves are tied together. So when I lean forward, she was good about, well, I'll say good about it. See, Berto says, legit love this one. The actress let them perform minor 19th century cosmetic procedures on her. Check out the trailer to see someone get their nose broken for art. Now, this was the ugly stepsister, I believe. So yeah.
Yeah, 2025 film. Oh, it's body horror film, written and directed. It's her directorial debut. Oh wow. Yeah, it's a for true one. Yeah, we're not going to play the exclusive trailer on here.
No. Yeah, no, just not until I look at it. That's
love you, Berto. Ain't happening.
Yeah, there's a couple people that we've had on before that are doing. We're probably going to be having back on again, and they've got new movies coming out too. They keep sending me shit, but some of them are low budget movies. I'm like, it's that do the research. Like I can watch the trailer and go, okay, that looks good, but I got to research the movie now to make sure that it's, something we want to represent.
Yeah.
See, Berto says looks or legit love this one.
Yeah, you already read that.
Okay, I just read that. I'm sorry. I know yup come up and it looked like a new thing.
Oh yeah. No, you got to remember. A lot of people don't realize this. I started listening to Joe Rogan. I would say when he was only, when he was only like 2 or 3 years into his podcasting thing, when it was still new to be a podcaster. Only a couple people had podcasts. And so I went back. I was still soon enough that, and I was driving everywhere. So I went back and listened to every one of his episodes from the beginning, coming all the way up to where I was. And I still remember it was only just a couple episodes in that he got his first sponsor, Fleshlights. And he would shill Fleshlights and even give them out to his guests as present. Here's a fleshlight for you. And so, we all, do things that in retrospect, probably not the best thing.
Part of me goes, I do a fleshlight sponsorship, but
yeah, as long as it's coming from a good place though,
Yeah, I don't know. We've turned down sponsorships for though. I know like one point we had a car dealership that wanted to sponsor. You remember that when Bean was with us?
I do not. I mean, there's a lot of things that were
I know
hidden from us.
Bean and I had a big heated discussion on that, but he wanted to turn the podcast talking about convention stuff into a car podcast talking about cars so that we could have a car sponsorship. I'm like, changing the whole premise of the podcast doesn't no. In the simple fact that we all know enough about cars to drive them and work on them, but we're not
gearheads.
Yeah. And so we argued about that for a good long time, but it was not the sponsorship for us. There's a couple over the years that just like, that doesn't look good. Or you don't want just one festival sponsoring some, because then you're really just a commercial for that festival.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't start with every festival being your sponsor.
Yeah, no. Well, and that's the thing. It's hard to advertise some of these festivals for free and then turn around and somebody else goes, well, I'm going to pay you. And then it's like, well, I got to advertise you better now. That's why I like the Borough. Even though they technically sponsored us and they give us gifts and shit,
they're the best.
I would brag them up because they took good care of us, and I like their store, and I like the people. But we'd brag up the other stores too.
Matter of fact, I buy so many gifts at that, at that geekery. Matter of fact, I just bought a birthday present for Zach there, and so it's all good. The closet geek that he is. I'm pretty sure he won't watch this episode. He is, he comes across as all, gung ho, manly man and stuff like that. But I know for a fact that one of his secret pleasures when he was a kid was the D&D cartoon.
Yes, yeah, you were telling me about that. You were going to do a print or something.
And he has them all on. He has them all on disc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I made the mistake this week too. My granddaughter asked me what my favorite cartoon was, and I go, I can't say a favorite. She goes, "What'd you watch when you were little?" So I mentioned like Thundercats and a couple things. Oh, now she just wants to watch Thundercats really bad. And I'm like, honey, I don't think you and I sitting down watching like Thundercats was good when I was a kid, and I will be nostalgic about it. But
She may like it.
She might. Some of that stuff though, even back when we were kids, it like Thundercats had a little more even I don't want to say adult storyline, but it wasn't a stupid storyline, you know. It wasn't just fun, goofy stuff that this 9-year-old girl is watching now.
Yeah. No, what was it? I remember at one point when all the Marvel stuff was hitting really hard, and Ganon was probably like 6-7 years ago, and he had found out that there was an original 1970s Hulk show.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, I want to watch that." Or I was like, no, you don't, man. It's not that. He's like, and we found it, and it was available to stream, and so he didn't even make it through the first episode. He really didn't, because there's a whole, he's sitting there going, "Okay, the car crashed. Why did people get thrown from the car, dude? There was no seatbelts back then."
Well, and they had to make everything look real dramatic. Like I bet somebody got thrown from the car, but there was no glass or anything flying with them. Just them.
It just somehow the door opened and they launched, and then it closed. Yeah,
I had a similar thing with Gabe when we were young, because I have all the original Marvel Masterpiece, the 1960s cartoons, where it is just a picture and there's one cell of a head turning back and forth and like really bad animation. If you've ever seen those,
just the mouth moves.
Yes, if the song Spider-Man that come from that, and I watched those religiously because I had them on VHS and I would watch them continuously at home. And so Gabe wanted to watch that shit. I think we were watching X-Men or something on TV. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll bust them out," because I loved them. Oh yeah, no, that was not for him. They're the equivalent of still pictures that move a little bit, and and the storylines are so basic and so like everybody is jilted and they're standing like this, and then they'll say, "Quickly, run that way," and that it's just yeah. I'm sure he thought that we all lived back in the Stone Age with that shit, but
we were.
Well, yeah.
I mean, hell, just growing up, Saturday morning cartoons. Look at the Flintstones.
Yeah, I remember smoking the Flintstones.
Oh, you remember that? You remember the commercial?
Yeah, I remember the commercial.
Because cigarettes have not been allowed to be have a commercial on TV since 71. I think it is when they banned cigarette commercials.
Are you sure? I thought that was when they banned them from being advertised in TV shows, but they because I remember Joe Camel commercials and everything when I was a kid.
Yeah, but okay. Cigarette commercials. January 2, 1971.
Wow. Yeah, well, shit, maybe I remember watching the YouTubes and the
Now, yeah, there was lots of, there were a lot of print ads, but yeah, cigarette ads were banned on TV and radio in the U.S. 1971. Prohibited cigarette commercials from broadcast media, including TV and radio. Yep. Last televised cigarette ad ran on January 1st, 1971 during the Johnny Carson show.
See, that doesn't seem right. I remember, what was it, late 80s, early 90s when they did the big Joe Camel push and they had to try to get...
It was all print media.
Yeah. And so they couldn't use mascots anymore. That were, or no animated mascots. Like you could use Marble Man or something.
Oh, yeah. He chose to have cancer. Yeah.
Yeah, in fairness, all that shit being on the news and stuff. And then, of course, watching on YouTube since, that's probably where I saw like the Flintstones smoking stuff, because they'd advertise Winston cigarettes and they just, the rich, bold flavor all the time. I mean, I've
women smoke Virginia Slims. Yeah. And I remember seeing the ad of the doctor I'm a brain surgeon, and after a long surgery, I like having a cigarette to help calm my hands. Yeah.
Berto says, I remember getting camel merch toys using camel points. My parents owned a convenience store most of my life, among other things. So I worked in a convenience store. So I still have like the books of matches that they'd come in to give out different matches. I have them still wrapped in the original paper, all that shit. I got so many cigarette advertisement bonus things that because they give them to us and we give them away at the convenience store. And since I was one of those goofy comic collector guys, I'm like, that'll be worth money. That'll be worth money. And you take one for you, one of each for you, you know? So I still got that shit sitting downstairs.
You have so much stuff. I think it would actually behoove you to purchase one or two, cargo containers and just move everything out into the cargo containers. I think your house might desettle and actually grow an inch or two if you get all of that, collectible stuff out of your house.
I made one room downstairs that's Christy and I put together. It's just geek stuff to sell. And I don't ever sell it. I just keep I'll get something. I'll go, there's a double or there's a whatever. I just put it in there and it's more stuff. Or I'll go, I'm not collecting Star Wars anymore. Let's box that shit up, put it down in the sell room. So the sell room really is just the room of shit I'm not actively collecting. That's it.
Well, so, we got new stuff for you. We got your socks that Jessica got.
Yes.
And I think there's also a over here that she also tossed down a keychain that she got you.
Oh, good. Yeah, because she got me a keychain before I got over here. Forever I've gotten these metal keychains. Somebody had given me one at a convention once, and it's a Ghostbuster one, and it broke. Oh. And then I went and bought another one, and they're cheap. You get them for like $4, no problem. With the tariffs now, they're between $10 and $15.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot find them any cheaper. And so I've been going without a keychain. I was gonna just 3D print one.
Yeah, one of the things I've decided I'm going to start collecting. You know that green messenger bag that I have?
I don't know.
I brought it to the last several gaming sessions and stuff like that. It's probably like the engineer's messenger bag. But
yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple patches that I've picked up. And I'm going to start getting more patches. And I've talked to Jessica, and she's going to go ahead and start decorating the outside of that bag. Whenever I get a patch from go into a con and I find a patch that I like, just put them on there so I can start decorating. That way I have something that I can decorate, because I don't like it on me because I don't like to commit myself that much. But if I put it on a bag, I can always just set the bag off to the side.
That's what I should have done. I've got these two boards over here because in Ghostbusters patches are a big deal.
Yeah.
And each group has their own patch. So I just collect them because that's what Dan Aykroyd did. And he put them on a wall. So I'm like, I'll be like him. So it looks great in here, but nobody ever sees that shit except for me. And like Steven, my buddy, he did it, and he did a trench coat, and he just did all the patches on the back. That's cool. Some of the guys in the group they got their cases for their gear, and they just put patches all over their case. That way, when they go, everybody sees all their patches and they talk about them. And now I feel like an idiot having them all here, but I'm like you. I don't want to wear it. I don't want to wear a ton of patches. And I've got tons of like stickers that groups have given me and stuff. And it's like, I want something, whether it be a car or a trailer where I can just put the stickers all on, or I just don't know what.
And that could be, if you have like a kit case, a case that you bring all of your paraphernalia to festival in, you can decorate that. I mean, it'd be like putting the stickers on the outside of your guitar case.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I need to get me a new big proton pack with a big kit case, and I just get tired of carrying stuff. Hi, Jess.
Hey, how's it going?
Jessica has ruined her voice this last week.
I have not. I just don't know what's wrong with it.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's ruined. It's gravelly and seductive, like Jessica Rabbit. That's what it is.
It's Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly. There you go. It is.
Believe it or not, this is the best it sounds since Saturday.
What'd you do to your voice?
No clue.
Oh.
I really don't know. It was from graduation, which we didn't even really yell at.
For those listening to the audio version, I recognize the look on Ash's face.
No, it wasn't that. It was like,
No.
oh, she's not accounting for Friday. Gannon had an asthma attack during his meet.
Mhm.
And she told me, yeah, I was screaming at them because she can't go out into the field.
Scream at
You told me you did. And so there's that. And then we went to the graduation, and there was a schmuck behind us at the graduation, ruining it for everybody. And there was some yelling and stuff that went on there.
I didn't yell at anybody there. So.
But you still cheered, for Phoebe.
A little bit, yeah.
And that's when it really started to sound bad. And then because my vehicle went tits up, my mom came to the rescue. And while I nursed my vehicle back home, I was worried about having Jessica and Gannon in there in case it, ceased functioning, and I didn't want my whole family stranded. So my mom came all the way to Topeka and took Gannon and Jessica. And so that was 3 hours from Topeka to Wichita, because we took back roads because I was nursing my vehicle and they were following. And then we took my mom back to her house, and I followed in Jessica's car. So that's 5 hours round trip of Jessica and my mom talking nonstop, which did not help the voice. And sure enough, the next morning, her voice was gone.
They've been giving me alternative stuff to do at work all week because it can't be on the phone. So
I was going to say, just talking like that will do it. I've been to a lot of events, and the older I get, the worse it is. By third day, and anymore at Hannibal, because that's a 4-day fair, I almost always lose my voice by the third or fourth day. It's just, yeah.
I figured it would sound better by now, but it doesn't. So I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so we'll see what he says.
All right, Jennifer.
Shush. All right. The boy's finishing his English, and I'm gonna eat.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Bye, John.
See ya.
And everybody else.
I'm very proud of Gannon. He has done very well on his finals today for his physics and his I think algebra or geometry, one of the two classes. In order to maintain an A in each of those classes, he only needed to get a minimum of like 64 on his final. He just had to get a D on his final, and he would have maintained his A. He rocked it out with getting 90% plus on both of those, plus the other ones. So he's doing really good on his coursework. And just tomorrow, he just has, I think it's just weight training and English are his last two finals. So he's doing really good. Proud of him.
Yep. It's good to see the kids growing up. They won't need us long.
That's a good thing, because I'm not sure how much longer I'll be here. I'll be here at least 44 models. Okay.
Yeah, he'll move out just in time that when he does come back and see all your weird Star Trek shit all over the house, he'll go, I didn't think it was weird when I lived here, but now that I've disconnected just long enough. Yeah.
My weird Star Trek stuff is in this room. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. I don't subject the rest of the house to it.
I keep my shit confined to rooms, kind of, but
yeah, you use the plural right there. I heard you put an S on room.
Yeah,
you said rooms.
But Christy has her rooms. I have my rooms. Christina has her rooms. So,
no.
Anyhow, that's.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I got lots of. I don't know if you heard, but Google I/O conference, that's their annual conference where they present all the new stuff coming out. They blew it out of the park this year. I mean, they came out swinging when it came to AI. Let me see here. Gemini takes center stage, and everywhere else, Gemini is no longer just a chat bot. It's the core intelligence behind everything Google announced. Major updates to Gemini 2.5, including new Deep Think enhanced reasoning mode for 2.5 Pro and significant efficiency gains for 2.5 Flash, AI mode and search. Gemini-powered chatbot experience is rolling out to all U.S. users in Google search, and with features like custom charts and graphics. Let me see, Gemini in Chrome, your browser is getting smarter. Gemini will be able to answer questions about open tabs and be accessible directly from the taskbar. Gemini in Workspace, personalized smart replies in Gmail that actually sound like you, because if you give it permission, it'll go back and look at how you responded to people in the past and be able to formulate a response so it sounds like you. When you ask it, okay, give me a response to this, it'll go ahead and respond like you, and then you approve it.
That means every email I have will start off, sorry for the delay in getting back to you. That's
plus new inbox cleanup for Gmail. Just ask Gemini to delete old email based on criteria. Gemini Live for All, the ability to ask Gemini questions about screenshots and live camera feeds, which was a Pixel exclusive, is now coming to all compatible Android and iOS devices. Okay, they're getting serious about empowering creators with generative AI. Veo 3 with native audio. Their video generation model Veo now includes native audio generation right in the video output. Flow, the AI filmmaking tool. This new app built on Veo and Imagen gives creators a powerful tool for AI-generated video, including camera movement, perspective controls, and editing features for consistent characters and scenes. Imagen 4 improvements, better detail, more nuanced colors, and crucially, vastly improved text output in AI-generated images. Agentic AI, Project Astra, that was the thing that I was, testing for them. Google's version of a universal AI assistant is getting more real. Demos showed it controlling Android phones, navigating apps, and making calls. Project Mariner and agent mode focused on computer use capabilities, allowing AI agents to browse the web and use software tools. In agent mode is coming to the Gemini app, able to automate tasks like finding apartment listings on Zillow and even scheduling tours. This also includes agentic shopping, where AI mode can track prices and even make purchases for you via Google Pay when the price drops to your specified amount. Android XR updates. While Android 16 has its own preview last week, I/O provided more detail on Android XR, or extended reality, for VR headsets and AR glasses. Google Beam, formerly Project Starline, the first AI-first 3D video communication platform, uses AI to turn 2D videos into realistic 3D experiences. Gemini Code Assistant, now generally available, powered by Gemini 2.5, helping developers with coding and code reviews. Firebase Studio and Stitch, new cloud-based AI workspace to turn designs into full-stack AI apps and AI-powered tools to generate user interface designs and front-end code. And finally, two notable subscription tiers were announced: Google AI Pro at $20 a month, effectively renaming AI Premium, and a new high-end Google AI Ultra at $250 a month for maximum access to the bleeding edge models and features, including early access to things like Project Mariner and Veo 3. That was all announced on Tuesday, and the majority of it is now available for us to use.
That's a lot of shit, and I got tons of questions. First off, I thought we already had, because I've watched YouTubers talking about it, AI doing editing on their videos for them.
We have that a little bit here on this Riverside that we utilize. I can go in and just tell it, okay, like I can have it go in and clean everything up. Like when I just did I could have it go in and remove all of those, remove spaces, and you can dial it in, spaces up to, that are like 2.5 seconds long, all the way down to a pause that is like half a second, and it will just completely like remove all of that dead space and chop up your video so it's more stuttery the more you do that, but it will shorten it down and clean it up. We can do that. I can tell it just to go into the video and pull out like some clips, so we can just go ahead and automatically do it, where we can just post them up to, Reels or TikTok or something like that, and boom, it'll pull that stuff out. I mean, and that's just in this. That's not the heavy duty stuff that the Gemini is talking about.
See, and that's the thing. We're so close to fucking AI just doing a lot of the work for us, to where we're nothing but the physical element in it all. And it feels like at what point are we going to get to that where, because I got a lot of admiration for people that sit around and like edit all their videos. Hell, I've seen like Berto, a lot of the editing he just does on photos and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Granted, you got to have an eye for that stuff, but it feels like eventually sometime when somebody goes, oh yeah, I did all these YouTube videos, and it's like, yeah, anybody can do that. You know, you just got to fucking throw it in the program and
Well, yeah, I mean, but keep in mind that also, you know, while it has the negative of, you know, anybody can do it, it has the positive of anybody can do it.
right.
You don't
And that's
have
good.
you don't have those gates that, you know, the gatekeepers keeping you from being able to do it. And that's going to open up things because for the longest time before these cell phones showed up, before our cell phones showed up, you couldn't do video unless you had a several $100 video camera, and then you needed the computer in order to be able to do the editing and all the stuff like that. And now people are just doing it on their phones. There's whole movies out there that are just being shot on iPhones and
Right.
Androids and stuff like that. So I mean, it really opens it up, and I think it's going to give it to where more people are going to be able to do things. Like one of the things I remember back when the YouTubes were first new and fresh and shiny was, remember Dorkman, the lightsaber battles that it was called Dorkman lightsaber battles.
I don't recall that.
It was amazing. I mean, you watch that and you're like, why did not Lucas hire this kid to, you know, to choreograph the lightsaber battles? Because his lightsaber battles were better than anything Lucas came up with. And he was able to do it, and the special effects and all the stuff like that. He was actually pretty damn good at it. But he was a rarefied talent. Not everybody could do it. Just because you had an idea of how to do it doesn't mean you could do it.
Well, that's exactly what happened with Mandalorian. Was first season they had that deep fake technology they used on Luke, and then a YouTuber said, "Oh, I could do that better." Took the original footage, made his version, and Mandalorian crew said, "Hey," I guess Jon Favreau said, "Hey, that's so awesome. You come work for us." And then he just headed it up for the second season, and it was just a YouTuber.
I wonder if that was the true conversation. I wonder if the real conversation was, "Hey, that's great. You come work for us, or we're suing your ass."
Yeah. You don't make us look bad unless you're one of us. That's
You're either working for us or working against us. Yeah.
Just hearing that it like the ability for it to start deleting emails for you and making purchases when things are at certain price points. Some of that could be handy, but I don't know. It's scary to me to where the more convenient that kind of shit is, the less the younger generation are going to learn how to do shit. You know what I mean?
You sound like an old man.
I do sound like an old man, but it is a genuine concern. You know,
look, just because they rolled out cars, I don't hear anybody crying about the poor blacksmiths who don't get to work on horses anymore.
No, but since they've rolled out cars, we'll say, I will say, like here in Newton, Chrissy and I talk about it all the time. We used to walk everywhere. I skateboarded everywhere. We rode bikes. My nieces and nephews will not walk to Dillon's to get shit. Like the idea of walking a mile to go do something is unheard of to them. And we say it all the time because they'll call, "Hey, can you get a ride?" And it's like, "Why don't you walk up there?" Walk? Are you kidding me? Fucking, I do it still now.
And that's the thing is stop giving them rides.
Oh yeah.
Learn to walk.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. But it is. I could see that being a genuine concern because it does feel like the more technology and stuff that comes out, the less people even like. I worry about that with artwork, like learning to draw and stuff. You don't have to now because you can use, let's say, AI and use it as a base template to work off of, or just use it all together.
But that makes your artwork more rarefied.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I mean,
I just, it feels like not as many people might pursue that.
I mean, look at like what, and that's the point. And you kind of, that might be a cool thing. Like, all right, like how many artists do you know now that just use their Wacom tablet? All right. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're doing everything on. Their multiple layers and they're coming up with great artwork.
Yeah.
But if you ask them to do that on paper, they couldn't do it. But because of that, if you're the one that sits there and goes, no, I've got the original, that makes that so much more special.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I worry about it with everything. It's bands are a great example. When we were young in high school, fucking everybody was in a
The
band.
music was better when I was
The
young.
music was better when I was a kid. Damn it. No, but no, seriously, like bands. I knew a lot more people in bands that like, and we gotta have a bassist and we gotta have a lead guitar and we gotta have somebody involved. Now, anybody I know in a band is performing at Ren fairs and shit. They're
What was
What
that?
they're
What
doing
was that old
cover
saying? If you were a drummer with a van, you could be in any band you wanted to be.
say again.
I said, if you were a drummer with a van, you could be in any
Yes.
band you wanted to be.
Yes.
No, it's just that, things change. I mean, and we can't hold on to something just because we're more comfortable with the way that it was. Granted, there's things out there that I don't like, and so I'm just not going to listen to it or peruse it, but that's just me having my own, tastes and desires. But I don't fault that. I'm like one thing I can't stand is EDM DJs.
Okay.
All right, electronic dance music DJs.
Yeah.
In my mind, because they even show them up there, and they're dancing around up there, occasionally pushing a button. All right, I hate that. That just incises me. I was like, oh my God, scratch a record, anything. All right, be an actual DJ. But then you actually see like some videos of the good DJs who are making their own beats. They will sit there and you watch them use the program in order to make their own beats and how they do it. And, oh, this one here, I'm going to cycle it here, and I'm going to go ahead and put a repeat here and bring this one in over here.
Yeah.
They lost me on the second track, and they've got 20 tracks stacked, and it sounds one. I'm like, okay, that impresses me. Somebody up there just being cute and hitting the space bar, that does not impress me. But the person making the tunes, I can appreciate it. Yeah, now, keep in mind, that's not music I enjoy, but I can be impressed by the talent.
And don't get me wrong, I think all these tools are great and they need to be out there. I just worry that we'll have a generation of people who get lazy because of it. I think they're great having them, but just like anything, phones are a great example and stuff too. There are certain people that they just don't learn to do shit.
Could you clean a hog?
Yeah, I can.
All right. How many people out there? I mean, literally, how many people out there have never done anything for their meat except for go to the grocery store and get it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've worked in a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm talking. Like Tim and I working in restaurants for so many years. There aren't many animals that we can't cut up.
Process.
But then again, that's because I was in a select field that allowed me to do that. So, but
right.
Gabe and I talk about it a lot because Gabe, amongst his friends, they got this thing about him being like a third generation trailer backer. I don't know what it is, but because he can back a trailer in like really well to all sorts of places. So he'll go help his friends with shit all the time. And he knows construction, he knows, supports, that kind of stuff, all the things he's learned, how to work on cars, how to back in a trailer. And it amazes me how many of these 20-year-olds that he hangs out have no, like, just even backing a trailer, not specific, like at a festival where you're getting into a little bitty spot, but just in general, how many can't do it,
I had not, this is the truth, I had not backed a trailer ever until I was in my 40s.
Really?
I had never backed a trailer.
That's crazy. See, I back trailers all the time. Couple times.
And but then again, you and we cannot conceptualize somebody who can't drive a stick.
That's another thing we talked about because Gabe was taught most of his friends how to drive a stick shift too.
But that's the thing anymore. It used to be that the automatic was the odd man out. Right. I didn't get my first automatic vehicle until what was my first automatic? It was that Thunderbird that I had, and that was in the early 2000s. In my 30s, that was my first automatic vehicle. But it used to be that to get a vehicle brand new with an automatic transmission was prohibitively more expensive. Now it's cheaper to get the automatic than it is to get the manual, to the point that I think it's like over 90% of new cars nowadays, maybe 95% of new cars, are all automatic. They don't, some cars you don't even get the option.
Well, see, I can get behind that because a lot of people don't need to learn to drive a stick because there's just not many of them around anymore. I can get behind that. But like the idea of somebody not learning how to make music because we have programs or AI for that. Oh, yep. There goes. I think my power, somebody turned something on. So we should probably look at
happening there.
Yeah, tearing this down so that I can go get started on some supper, because we can use about one appliance at a time. And I got 3 lights going in here. So
oh no.
Yeah.
Thank God they're LEDs. Can you imagine the energy draw if those were incandescents?
Yeah. So everything is LEDs.
Well, I love the fact that you're worried about the amount of power, yet you still turned on the
I didn't think of that when because at the beginning of the podcast I even said I get to turn on these lights about once a week. I might as well do it, not thinking that I got this power going. But yeah, I should probably look at tearing it down. But we got one more episode, and then we're going to do the relaunch August 4th is what we're looking at.
That's what I believe I put on the calendar. Let me verify.
So as soon as
the first Wednesday of the month.
Okay. Yeah. As soon as we get everything finalized, we'll post up. And anybody
that would have been June 4th, not August 4th.
I'm sorry. June, July, August. Yep. I am so sorry. June 4th. So many dates, man. This has been a time where like festivals are starting, boom, 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 starting to get every weekend. I think we got 3 festivals next month we're doing. One of them we're running. No, we got 4 festivals next month we're doing. Which would be the McConnellCon, the Big Gay Market, the Topeka.
I knew you'd find your people. Go ahead.
The Topeka Renaissance Festival, which will be its first year, and then Anime Festival Wichita. So next couple months are going to just be going. So
I know I've got I know I've got the McConnellCon, which I'm still waiting for them to call.
He is behind. I feel bad because I haven't sent all my stuff in yet either. But yeah, he's just been behind. I know because he's doing all the calling this year. He had people helping him with it last year, and I think he's taking more of it on. So
okay. But we got McConnellCon, we got Anime Fest Wichita, we've got ICT Comic Con. I mean,
ICT is next month.
Well, I know. I'm just thinking of all the cons we have coming up. That
now I won't be at ICT with you this year because this year it will be again the same weekend as Big River, so I'll be in Missouri doing Big River. But then next year he's changing it to another weekend, so hopefully we'll be able to. I'll be able to hit that one back again because he's been making tons of guest announcements this week, and I'm really sad I don't get to go. So.
Aww, poor John.
I know because at least there I get special privileges, so I can like have access to the celebrities and shit if I want.
Like you do not get special privileges at Big River.
Oh, at Big River I will too. Yeah, no, Big River treats me like fucking gold. I will not talk smack on Big River, and there's a reason. Even though I was partners with Richard forever, then I'm going to Big River because I just love being there. It's just a fun.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
But okay, so we have this is the holiday weekend, and then we have next Wednesday is the final Wednesday, and then after that we're going to be live at the Burrow on the 4th is what we were talking about. So everybody listening in and watching in afterwards, we're going to be live and in person again. If you wanted to be part of our live audience, come on down.
Then this way we can ask you guys questions and you can answer in real time. Instead of 2 minutes later, I go, oh, look, they answered.
10-15 second delay or anything.
No, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and bring some trivia and stuff to that one. And I didn't want to do a guest at the live show because to me, the guest will be the audience for that. And then after that, we'll start doing some bringing in guests and doing that stuff.
Sounds like a plan, man.
All right. Which now that I'm thinking about it, I was going to talk to you about someone we need to hit first, but we're gonna probably have to have John on pretty quick just to advertise McConnellCon.
That'll have to be next week.
I might give him a call. See, yeah, because that's coming up quick. All right.
Because if we are not going to have a guest on Wednesday the 4th, McConnellCon is Saturday the 7th.
Holy shit! Yeah. I'll talk to him tomorrow. Hey, we'll either get him next week or at least get somebody from McConnellCon talk about it a little bit, because I know not everybody can go to that one, but anybody who can get base access, which civilians can, I'm not sure how to do that. He can answer it. My wife's coming just to watch the Blues Brothers show.
Yeah,
So,
basically ahead of time, you kind of need to, because they have to do a background check on you. And it takes time. I've gone up on military bases to do work before as a doing telecom, and even then, I pull up to the gatehouse and sit there for a couple hours while they run your stuff before they let you on base, and that's just the way it is.
It used to drive me nuts when I was working with Richard and Randall. If anybody knows Randall Avix from Festival, you'll know why this is but we would go to the base, and Randall, he didn't like getting a background check, so he'd have me drop him off at Quick Trip, and we got paid by the delivery. Every 20 minutes or so, you could make a delivery. You got to go to the base. You're going to be waiting in line for an hour, getting a background check. So you're like, oh, I could have made 4 or 5 deliveries in this time, but I'm making 1. So I'm making less money. And then I had to leave Randall because he was too scared of being on a military base. So then you're carrying a king size mattress up the stairs by yourself. I used to hate that base. Like, it was nothing but bad for me. But now that I don't have to work and they're like, just come tell fart jokes and drink, now it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's all going to be good. We're going to have fun. And we'll talk to him on Mythvoke of next week, the 28th.
I hope I'll make sure everything's good with him and see if he's available. So,
all right. Yeah. Cause that's going to be, that's going to be a week and a half out in front. So hopefully he'll have a little time. It won't be, if we tried to do it on the 4th.
Yeah, it'd be too quick. Yeah.
Yeah. He would be way too busy, finalizing stuff to be able to spend the time doing it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
alrighty, sir.
Tie her up, I guess. Sorry, there wasn't a lot of content tonight.
Who are we tying up?
Huh?
Who are we tying up?
Who?
Yeah, you said tie her up. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, go do some. Well, no, I'm not going to say that because Jess will watch it.
If I want to get my wife hot and bothered, I'll let her go buy some shoes. All right.
All right, guys. Hugs and kisses. We'll see you next week.
And, all right. Love to see you. Bye. Okay, stopping